jinkles and potty pings, and how the devil are ya? I hope you're well. Joining me here on the M74, just shy of Annandale Water Services, and we're on our way up to Glasgow. I know we do a lot of Scotland at the moment. We seem to be constantly in Scotland on these videos, but at the end of the day I'm working for a Scottish company and I do a lot of work in Scotland at the moment now. I do get down to England as well. I was in England yesterday, but I tend to do a lot of Scotland at the moment, and I quite enjoy that. I'm quite happy with that. So we're on our way up to Glasgow, and just currently at Annandale Water, as I say. I've just been doing a bit of a spoof video about Vernon Kay's dad. I don't know if I'm going to publish it or not, because it might not be right. Do you know what I mean? If he does see it, he might not see the funny side of it. But we'll have a look at it after. Mirrors, just mindful. Van coming up this slip road, wagon coming to overtake. Now again, at the moment here now, I did a video the other day about how to avoid a 6-mile tailback on a motorway when overtaking. Now this van's just come on, so what I'm going to do now, there's a wagon just trying to overtake me. I'm going to back it off here. I'm going to let this guy get on, because he's not got the momentum to overtake me properly. We're both going down a bit of a hill. The van's on the motorway now behind me. I'm just going to back it off, just no gas, just let this guy come through. Midland Bacon Company. Back on the gas now, we're flashing back in. Then you go, pal, go on you go. Go on, pal, on you go. You just, well lad, no bother thanking me, they're alright. So there you go. That's how to avoid a big tailback. He hadn't got the momentum to get past me then. He'd come alongside of me. I couldn't back it off just yet, because this van what's just coming into view now, this pickup van, towing a trailer, was just coming up the slip road. That one there was just coming up the slip road, so I couldn't back it off straight away, because it would have blocked him from thinking. So as soon as I seen him slot in behind us, I just backed it off and let this guy come through. No thanks, kiss me arse or nothing, you know, but he probably wasn't even looking in mirrors. But it's one of them, you're not doing this for gratitude and acknowledgement, you know what I mean? It's just nice to be nice, isn't it? So rather than block lane 2 off for another couple of miles for him to get past me, I just backed it off a bit. Just let him go, let him on his way. Not everybody's thankful. Not everybody gives a shite. It is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So the only thing now, because I've backed it off a bit, I've now got every Tom, Dick and Harry pulling up alongside me for overtakers. But we're not in a race. Rome wasn't built in a day. Was built in a day and a half, you know what I mean? And it's a beautiful looking morning up here in bonny Scotland at the moment. I'm just mindful now, he's just coming in front of us, so I'm just backing off there. Just crack jumbo, let me just put my teeth back in and rewind. So I'm just mindful now that he has just come in front of me, so I'm just going to back it off a little touch, just to create a little bit of a gap and safe stopping distance. There you go. So we're going to run this up to Route 74 Truckstop. I'm going to get some breakfast. I've just stopped off at Lockerbie actually to get fuel for the wagon. I washed the truck, got fuel, and set back on again, crack back on again. Like I said, I'm going to pull into Route 74. I like the breakfast. I'm going to get a 6-wheeler, get something to eat. That'll last me all morning then. Still not smoking, by the way. Today's week 3. I packed in 2 weeks ago on Sunday night, so I've done 2 full weeks on Sunday. So this is now week 3, isn't it? Or 16 or 17 days, I think it is, or something like that. Yeah, because 7 and 7 is 14. So This is day 16 today, and then Tuesday. It's Tuesday today. Idly day, so it's week 3, technically. Idly day, don't do. The stinky rottens riding shoo. Lovely day. Needs to be. It's absolutely hammered it down these last few days. It's been shite. It's been absolutely rubbish. I got my windowsills done, by the way. I had a lad come round. I mean, I've had a few people come round looking at the job, but they've all been... I don't know what it is with some tradesmen. You get them round and they're like, oh, they're the best thing since sliced bread, and they're, oh yeah, we can do this, I can do that, I'm brilliant, oh, you leave it with me, lad, I'll sort all that out. And you never hear back from them. I think some tradesmen must just go around doing quotes just for bragging rights in pub. When the mates say, what are you up to, Frank? Oh, I've snowed under, pal, snowed under, never had a minute. Just quoted a job for such a thing, just quoted another job for that, I'm on with this job at the moment, I've just been rang up and quoted for that. You know, they've no intentions of doing fucking jobs, they're just like coming round looking busy, you know what I mean? But anyway, this one come round and he said, yeah, I can sort that, no problem. So he ordered the windowsills, the sandstone sills, you see. There was only one what was really knackered, the other ones we could have painted and gone away with, but I thought it's not worth his while just coming round for replace one, so I'll get it replace all 4 at the back of the ice. Because there is a few cracks and marks on the other 3. So he ordered them, and he said it's going to take 5 to 6 weeks to come. The company are really busy, what's making? I said no problem. So anyway, he rang us up at the weekend. He says, right, your windowsills have come 2 weeks early. He said they've ended up getting them done for me. He says, can I come round? He said, I've got another job on at the moment. He said, but I've nothing on Monday. Can I come round and put these windowsills in, because I don't want to leave them laying about in my van in case they'd get damaged, I don't want to have to pay for them twice. He says, yeah, that's fine, no bother. I said, but I'm not in. He said, ah, you're alright, we can sort that. So anyway, sent us photographs last night. When wife's gone home, so it's all been done and dusted, like, so I just need to pay the man now. I've got the money there. He'll have to wait till I come home on Friday. So that's a big relief off my mind, to be honest, because one of them's been cracking like bloody anything, and there's just been big chunks of it coming off, because our cat has a habit of climbing in and out of bedroom window onto the kitchen annex extension roof, mirrors, onto the kitchen annex extension roof. But getting back in, he scraps up at bloody windowsill for jump back in. And I think he's pulled half a bloody thing off. But once it starts getting a bit of water in behind it as well, it starts coming off in chunks then, doesn't it? So my big concern was it getting all damp in through bottom of windowsill and getting into wall and that. So, stitching time saves none. So hopefully we'll never have to do anything with them things again now for the rest of our lives. Mirrors, there's a truck coming up behind me, and there's also 2 vehicles coming down this slip road here. Mirrors, they're going to get out before me, so there's no problem. Just having another look over here, just in mirrors, there's nothing else coming. There's no point me coming across then into lane 2, because this truck's trying its best to overtake me, this Renault. I knew them 2 would get on before me. Robert's your dad's brother, fan is your aunt, isn't it? You know what I mean? Some mirrors. Just mindful, just back him off, because that's a pet hate of mine, is that, when they just cut in. You know, he's indicating fair play to him, but he's not even looked, he's just indicated an in, and it bugs me that. You don't leave enough of a gap. He could have left more, he could have kept going then, for me, kept going on, and got more in front of me and then pulled in, but they just, as soon as their arse ends past you, boom, they just pull in. So I end up having to back off again. Really bugs me that. You know, on that video what I done about truck drivers getting paid 50k. I clickbaited in the title on purpose, of course I did. I told you that, you know what I mean? But some people, quite a few people have said, you know, some truck drivers drive like shit. They're not all good and decent drivers. You're quite right. That goes throughout the board for every class of vehicle, motorcycle riders as well, cyclists, pedestrians. Everybody's different. You know, some truck drivers are absolutely shocking. They're awful. They're bloody awful. Well, you've got to expect that and accept it. You know what I mean? You can't all be decent. Some people are terrible and should never have passed the test. Like that guy there, is just no indication. He's just come back out for overtake this one in front of him. Probably never even looked in mirrors. Just veered out into lane 2, overtaking next one. He probably do exactly the same. Not like grassing people up, but it's on video. I won't clip this though. I'll just leave this up as the full video. I don't know if you can see that. Well, let's just watch. His arse end's just coming past him now. He's actually going to stay out in lane 2 because he's going to overtake the next one. But as soon as his arse end gets past the next one, he'll just boom, he'll just go straight in. People are shocking, they really are. I haven't got the momentum to pass the next one. He should have just come back into lane 1. He's not got the momentum. So now sat out in lane 2 for about what? Be at least another half a mile before he passes his wagon, maybe more. Well, I'd say about a mile before he passes the next wagon in front of this one, the next truck. He's now going to get past it in memory of man. We are going to be coming up a bit of a hill in a bit, so hopefully there's a weight difference in between them. Some mirrors, I'm now catching-ish this one in front of it. That thing's going to be sat out in lane 2 forever. It's not going to get past the one it's coming up on. Mirrors. Some mirrors. We're going to come out because we're just catching this one down in front of us. It's got a Moffat on back. So he is just coming alongside this truck now. He's still in lane 2. He's just coming alongside that truck. Just about drawing level with cab. Arse end. Mirrors. Arse end's just got past cab. There you go, straight in. No kissing. Oh, a bit better this time actually. Left a bit of a gap. Must be listening to us. What's the frequency, Kenneth? They're not all bad, it's just some are oblivious, they really are. Today. There's still a lot of grey. I think it's a glare. There's still a lot of grey cloud about. I think we're going to have another dusting of showers at some point today. feel like I want to play Scotland the Bravest but on bagpipes, but I can't play bagpipes. And since I stopped smoking, I'm not wheezing as much, so I don't sound like a deflated bagpipe, you know what I mean? Come off that gas now and just let it roll us down. I've not got Tourette's, at least I don't think I have anyway. It's just randomly start singing shite tunes in. I have a little tune in my head at the moment, like an earworm, you know what I mean? Seatbelts, it's the law. You gotta love the Scotland matrix signs, haven't you? Wear seatbelts, it's the law. Sometimes I think they put too much information on those matrix signs, because I'll tell you for why. I think it's distracting. If you've got information on matrix signs every 2 minutes, then for me, you're not concentrating on reading the road ahead. You're looking up and seeing what they bloody say. So I think they are distracting. I mean, not to me, obviously. Don't like blowing me on trumpet, you know. I'm joking. But no, I think they can be distracting for people, because if you've got too much information being fed, trivial bullshit, basically, wear seatbelts against the law. You don't need right now. Why you need right long, I've no idea. Because 99.9% of people these days all put the seatbelts on as soon as they get in the car. Because if you don't, the modern cars start screaming their tits off at you. Put your seatbelt on, put your seatbelt on. And most people do it anyway. So that's just a useless bit of information. And it's distracting. It's distracting to people, is that? I think it is anyway. You know, it's not to me like, but to your average Joe, it's just distracting. I'm sometimes people can't process too much information at once. The tiny little brains can't process it. It just fries the infrastructure of the brain. They melt. We're getting on with this job now. This will be week. I think this is week 7. You know now. I think it is. I think it's week 7. I'm enjoying it. I'm getting on with it. I must admit, I was speaking to somebody. From the powers that be at Jenkins at the weekend, and we were talking about the possibility of me going back. And I said, you know, I said I would come back. I said, of course I would. I said I loved the job and I love the company. So of course I would come back. Not a bother at all, not an issue. And the next thing, all right, leave it with us. We'll give you a shout on that. So, they came back to us. Aye, we'll have you back, no problem. We'll have you back on. Aye, good lad, you. We'll have you straight back on, no problem. You'll be cab hopping though. I thought, hang on, fucking won't. You'll be cab hopping. You'll get your own truck eventually, but you'll be at bottom at cab hopping, pal. And I said, no. Steady on, pal. I said, that'll never happen. I won't be cab hopping. I said, I've been there and fucking done that. Well, you can't expect to come back and just jump the queue. I said, I'm not bloody coming back then, am I? I'm not coming back then, am I? There's no way I'm cab hopping. If I did come back, I wouldn't be cab hopping. If you wouldn't find me a truck, then fuck it. But in a polite way, that's what I said. I said, I don't need to cab hop. I've been there, done all that. I said, there's 1 options open to me at the moment with a clean Class 1 licence where I'm living. There's loads of jobs out there. And a job what'll give me my own truck and trailer straight away. When I started this job, I got straight in this was my truck. They got me this truck for me. There was no cab hopping here, that's your wagon, full-time allocated. So I'll always be grateful to Jenks, don't get me wrong, I'll always be grateful to Jenks. I will never badmouth them, never publicly badmouth Jenks. They was right with me, they took me on with no experience and looked after me and gave me a job, and I cut my teeth there. So I will always be grateful for that. But why the hell would you want to go backwards in life and start out all over again, back to how you did when you first started there? I've only been left 6 weeks. So if I come back, you've got to go back to bottom of fucking ladder again, cab hopping. I said, yeah, fuck that, no fucking chance, pal. No way. But just my luck, I'd end up cab hopping on my own wagon, you know what I mean? Bollocks to that. So no, there's no going back now. It's onwards and upwards. Always looking forwards, never looking back. Here's the Franken beans coming up. Do you not think this looks like a big cock and balls on this hill? I'm telling you, whoever did this has a sense of humour. It's meant to be a hammer, and I don't know what the other thing is at the side. Well, that's meant to be a hammer, look, this tree plantation on this hill here. And I think it just looks like a Franken beans. It looks like a cock and balls. It's definitely a cock and balls, facing downwards. I just call it Franken beans, I do. So yeah, there'll be no going back to Jenkins for me. Been there, done that, moved on now, out my system. I'm quite enjoying. Excuse me. I'm quite enjoying flatbed work, to be honest. So if I did move on to something else, it would be doing something else on flatbeds. close to that walking floor shit now with household waste and all that. Been there, done that. No intentions of doing it ever again. Mirrors. Back him off, we're just creeping up a touch. Driving fatigued, you are at higher risk of accidents. You're also at a higher risk of accident looking up and reading that for too long, because it'll distract some people, not all, but that will distract some people. There's too many of these matrix signs knocking about with just useless shit information on, you know what I mean? I mean, that should be common sense. You're tired, pull over. You don't need a fucking matrix sign to tell you that. That's a good, another point though. If you're tired now and you think, right, I'm knackered, I need to pull into these services here. So if you pull into this next service is Abington. I don't know what it's like for cars, but for me, if I pull into Abington, I've only got 2 hours before I have to pay. Right? So if I say I'm tired, I'm in a car, for instance. If I say, right, I'm knackered, I'm pulling in. If I fall asleep and I end up in a deep sleep and I'm there for over 2 hours, you're going to get bounced for it, aren't you? You're going to get charged. So you'll end up with a massive fine. So it's a catch-22. You're tired, you've pulled over, you didn't want to cause an accident to and harm to yourself or anybody else. So you're tired, you've pulled over, you fell asleep, you've ended up falling asleep for 2.5, 3 hours because you're absolutely shattered. Next thing, you've got a big fine. So you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, aren't you? Sun's blurring away, coming from the right hand side, coming through side window and blinding down. I've got my sun visor down the top window. Blinding, lad, blinded by the light. I don't know if I'd throw it in at Hamilton or not, you know. I might do. I might put it in at Hamilton. Or next one, I don't know. I'm getting peckish now, I'm getting a bit peckish now. Quite fancy a McDonald's or something for breakfast. So Hamilton's 24 miles. Hamilton service is about 24 miles. I think, maybe, what's it called? Oh, actually, Route 74 comes up before Hamilton, doesn't it? So it probably will be Route 74, yeah. I just couldn't get my bearings then for a second. Route 74 Truckstop does come up before Hamilton services, because you come off for Lesmahago, or as I like to call it, Legs of Kimbo, lad, Legs of Kimbo. There's one Vernon Case dad wouldn't say, Legs of Kimbo. Legs of Kimbo in West Howden. Legs akimbo in West Norton. It sounds like a track that didn't quite make it onto the Horton Weaver's back catalogue, didn't it? Legs akimbo. Legs akimbo, bonny lass. Legs akimbo, bonny lass. She were walking down our street and she catch me eye. I said, hey lass, legs akimbo. I said, nice legs, love. What time do they open? Vernon Kay's dad wouldn't come out with anything like that. How dare I even suggest such a thing? Gladys, tell him wash his mouth out with soap, love. Can't be coming out like that. Coming out with tattle like that. But now Vernon's on radio. All that about? Darling Black Label. They're massive, you know, when you get up close and personal to them wind turbines. There's a company over right up and left a bit that do transportation of all them wind turbines, the blades and that. That'd be a good job, you know, if you could get onto it, but be a lot of unsociable hours. I mean, I've said to wife a couple of times that I wouldn't mind. I've said it on here. I wouldn't mind getting into heavy haulage. And when I've looked into it, you know, you've got to get a start with somebody who'll take you on, and you've got to get a start with like local firms what do low loader work and that. But even a lot of that low loader work is bloody unsociable hours. A lot of weekends and on call all the time at somebody else's beck and call to be working at the drop of a hat. And to be honest, I couldn't be arsed with it. I went seeing a fella to the side of Longtown a few weeks ago. He was advertising for a job, but he only had 2 wagons. Nice enough chap. He had 2 wagons doing low loader work running out to a yard at Longtown. He was on Volvo, and it was a big Scania. I think it was a 650 or something like that. It was a Scania and mid-lift was his next one. His other wagon. And he was a nice enough chap, and the other driver had spewed it. And I went seeing him, he was advertising. So I gave him a text and I went round and seen him. He soon started doing me fucking head in, to be honest. He was getting on my nerves in interviewing. He was a control freak. Absolute control freak, and I thought he wanted somebody at his beck and call. I understand the nature of the business. You could get a phone call on Saturday saying, can you be out at such a place tomorrow and move this for us? So if you've got the driving hours available, I want you to do that. And I thought, well, can I really be arsed doing that? You know, would I stay with him long term, or would I just use it for experience? And then I thought, I'd never see wife, I'd never be home. I would never get home. Do you know what I mean? It'd be constantly doing night shift and weekend work, and at somebody else's beck and call. You know what I mean? But no, there was just little things where he was saying, he was just getting on my fucking nerves, to be honest. He was a nice chap, but he was just set in his ways. Because he only had 2 wagons, it was his way or the highway, do you know what I mean? You know, you couldn't put any decorations up in cab. You couldn't put any posters up or draw pins in back wall for hang a flag up or out like that. No, fuck that. He didn't want any of that. It was how it was issued, box standard, that were it. You couldn't make it your own. You know, he just like letting you know that it was his truck all the time. I think, well, if you're that fucking obsessed, you know, you're never going to let go, are you? So I pity anyone what works for him, to be honest. No, it's against him. He was a nice enough chap, but once he started going and started firing off little bits and bats, I thought, you're getting on my fucking nerves, you. I wouldn't last long with him. I'm too old for that shit, you know what I mean? He wants somebody about 18, 19 year old what's just fucking passed the test and you can brainwash him. He doesn't want a 40 odd year old bloke man what's been round Lockerbie. You wouldn't wear it, you know what I mean? You'd just say fuck off. I mean, I'm not smoking now, but you're on about smoking. No smoking in the vehicle at all, which is fair point. It's a company vehicle, fair point. No, you're not meant to smoke in company vehicles. It's, legally, you're not meant to. Most fucking trampers do. Let's have it right. Most people who tramp smoke. But he was saying, you know, smoking. I don't mind if you want to pull over and have a cigarette. But if I check that truck over at the weekend and it smells of smoke, I'll sack you. So, it's not going to fucking work, is it? Because you're expecting me if I go away in a truck all week and live in it and not have a cig, you can fuck right off. But I'm going away in a truck, and I'm not smoking now, but I was still smoking at the time. Like, if I'm going away in a fucking truck all week, I'm smoking, you can fuck off. Do you know what I mean? But that's why I wouldn't have got on with it. You're not meant to smoke in wagons, of course you're not. It's a works vehicle. But if it's your home for the week, I'm fucking smoking. Don't even bother. 99.90% of trampers do. Fucking damn right they do. And if you keep stopping every 2 minutes for a cig, you'd never get any progress. Never get out done. Some people are chain smokers. I'm not. I smoke about 15 a day. 5 more than I originally did. I smoke 10 a day. This last couple of years it's gone up an extra 5. I smoke about 15 a day. Still a lot of cigarettes. Some people are constantly smoking. Some will smoke 13, 14 a day. You know what I mean? Between 25 and 30 a day. 40. It's a tall order if you want to keep somebody to keep stopping for a cig. You'd never get anywhere. So there were just little niggly things like that. I mean, you might think smoking's absolutely disgusting. How do anybody want to smoke? I've only been stopped for 2 weeks. This is week 3. I may start again. I don't know. I've been smoking a long time. So I'm still a smoker at this point in time. I've not officially packed in, even though I've not had one for over 2 weeks now. I hope I don't relapse. I hope I can pack them in forever, but who knows. Anyway, mirrors! No idea where we're going next, by the way. Is a 22.8. I'm going to have to pull off somewhere shortly and cut you loose because my good lady wife will be ringing me in a bit. We normally ring each other between 7:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning because she sets off for work at 8 o'clock. Scotland, born in bloody Scotland, Ollie. So we'll put this video up later on. We'll have a look at the one I did taking piss with Vernon Kay's dad. I'll watch that back and see what crack is. I might not put it up yet, you know what I mean? It's just a complete random video. I don't know why, I was thinking about Vernon Kay this morning. I heard a trail for his show, somebody mentioned him on Radio 2, so I was thinking about Vernon Kay. Like, his dad's a truck driver, Neville. I wonder how it'd be if his dad ever did a video. I don't. He must be retired now. His dad is about 80 or 83 or something. You know. I just started thinking about Vernon Kay, and I thought, when I've stopped and washed wagon off, I'll do something for a crack. So I'll see if it's worth uploading. If it is, I'll put it on. Hopefully his dad doesn't see it and think I'm taking the piss. Like, it's just a bit of fun. If you do watch it, Neville, it's just a bit of fun. And Vernon and Tess. I think that's the sign for Route 74, so it just should coincide just nicely. Yeah, Route 74 is definitely before Hamilton services, a mile and a half. Route 74 truck stop, we'll whack him in here and I'll get some breakfast. And I'll get Warfering first actually. Riding behind my meal, a stinking rotten swiney shield. Stiddly piddly piddly bo, stick it in tidy do. See, legs akimbo, Les Mahago, it says. Les Mahago. I like to call it legs akimbo. Oh. I once went to legs akimbo. There's a council yard as you come off near that other services. Come off for legs akimbo, turn off there, go up the way. Turn right onto this big road, there's a services on the left hand side. And I went to Salt Yard just further on, it was shut obviously. And I turned right after Salt Yard and I couldn't get back round, it just took me all down these bloody country lanes, I couldn't get turned back. And then I ended up coming in to the other side of bloody, I don't know where it was, to the side of Selkirk I think it was. And I went out this certain way. And I come up on this little lock to the side of Legs Akimbo. This little lock, I saw a signpost for it, so I turned down, turned round. And I thought, you know what, bollocks to it, I'm stopping on this car park and I stopped with this German camper van for night. And I stopped there, it was alright, had a cracking night's sleep. Morning after, I turned round, went back through Legs Akimbo and delivered me road salt at Salt Mine. It was alright, it was spot on. So mirrors.
Go round the roundabout, third exit, then
mirrors.
Take the motorway.
Mirrors, just watching where this van's going, because nobody indicates, you see. Everybody just thinks you're psychic. Mirrors. Oh, he's indicating now. Wasn't before. Signals on mirrors as we come round. Signal back on because we're coming into Route 74. 74 truck stop. I like it here, it's nice. They do some decent food as well. I've stayed here overnight actually. It's a good truck stop. This is not a bad stay. I'm going to come all the way around, come back on myself, and then I'm going to park up onto one of them bays that are facing back out against some mirrors. Alright Dave, no idea who that is, but he's looking at me. Say, alright Dave, how we doing pal? Oh, I'll tell you who I saw yesterday actually. Josh, didn't I tell you about the young lad, Josh Howells? Had passed his test and he's working for Ningbo, walking floor. And I come outside of me yesterday. So I pulled into services and I had 5 minutes with him. Lovely young lad. It's nice putting
At the end of the road,
nice putting a
turn
face
left. Then, at the end of the road,
to
turn
the
right.
person what's been following you for a while. So just mirrors, I'm just mindful with back end. I'll take a nice wide swing and take up this third bay because there was a little
Turn left.
7.5
Then,
tonner there.
at the end of the road, turn
I don't
right.
want to leave it too tight and then not be able to get into the bay without clipping it. Some mirrors, we're going to have to reverse back a little touch just to get straight. Just get it lined up straight and nice and dandy, thank you, please. Stick him in reverse, umper, lumper, stick it up your jumper. And there you go. We're back in the room, we're back in the bay. Right, I've been your old mate Borothea. Once again, you, my friend, have been beautiful. But for now, I am out of here. Join me again. We'll do something later on in the week. And yeah, take care, stay safe. I'm going to ring my wife for 5 or 10 minutes now, and then I'm going to go get some breakfast. Have a quick check, that wheel wasn't straight. I'll see you later. Ta-ra!